What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We're back here for yet another episode, and in today's video I'm going to be going over some frogs. Now, as of recently, just starting this summer is when it's been getting really good for frog fishing, and I think this is a great time to talk about how I personally like to frog fish, what kind of frogs I like to throw, the action that I put it and how I work them and everything, and the rods and reels that I use for to throw my frogs. So the first thing is I'm going to get into the frogs themselves, go over the colors, the types of frogs that I use, and that kind of thing. So as you guys can see here, this is my frog box. I've got, I think I counted like 15 frogs in here. I've got some more on the shelf, like duplicates of these, but these are all my main frogs that I use. So I'm going to start off with walking. This is only this summer has become my favorite type of frog. I used to only use like popping and some walking, but now this summer, because I've been fishing places that have tons of grass, and with popping frogs, whenever you pop them in lots of grass like these ponds that I fish have, they don't work as good. So I use a lot of walking frogs, and this is probably my favorite one right here. It's a live target, I believe. Yeah, Copper's live target frog. It's just a regular walking frog, and I like a black color. And normally it's sunny out like today, and this does really good. A black color is really good when it's sunny, because if you're a fish and a fish is looking up at the bait, they only see the bottom, and so really all this junk on the top doesn't really matter, but stuff on the bottom does. And this thing against a bird blue sky with some clouds in it will stand out. But if you have a white frog like this popping frog right here, and it's up in the sky, it's going to blend in a little bit better. So that's kind of my thing on colors. So if it's sunny out, I normally go with a black. Cloudy, I'll go with some white, but really my favorite frog color is a black. And so these are kind of some of my top walking ones right here. I've got, again, the live target one. Also a rat can be pretty good as well. That's a rat right there. Just one that I got in a mystery tackle box. Here's another live target rat right there. Let's see if, there we go. Right there, and actually it's some of the part of the tail's been bitten off. Then this is a just a standard Booyah pad crasher. Got this at Cabela's for $1.88 right there. And I've actually got several of these. So that's kind of like my favorite walking frogs. Now into popping frogs. This is actually one of my favorite ones right here that I recently just got, and y'all saw me catch like a 4+ pounder on it. This is the Spro popping frog. I think that's the name. It's a Spro popping frog, so you guys can find it there. But that's just kind of what it looks like right there. It's got a cupped mouth, and just standard right there. Again, a black color. That's just the kind that I ordered it in. And another one of my favorites is a Booyah pad crasher popping frog. You all saw the walking one. This is the popping one. And popping, if you guys saw in the last frog, they have this cupped mouth right here, and that's kind of why it's popping, is because that cupped mouth, whenever you pop it, like twitch your rod tip down, it makes like it spits up water in front of the bait, so kind of creates more commotion. And that's another color right there. I think that's bullfrog or something like that. And again, there's that popping mouth. So those are kind of my favorite frogs and frog colors. Now I'm going to get into the rod, reel, and kind of how I like to work the frogs. Alright guys, so now getting into the rod and reel. I know whenever I do these how-to videos and I'm talking about rods and reels, even fishing videos, I know it's super repetitive because I use like 2 combos pretty much in every video that are the exact same, and I just want you guys to know that they're great combos and that kind of thing. But I also want you guys to know that you guys don't have to have a special rod for frogging. Now, companies will go out and make really good, like, heavy duty frog rods, like this favorite rods, flare rod, but you guys don't really need this. The reason why I do have the favorite rods flare rod right here, it's in my hand, but it's a frogging and flipping rod, but I don't use it for frogging. The reason is because I throw a lot of 3/8 to 1/2 ounce frogs, and this thing doesn't cast as far as I would want a 1/2 ounce frog to go, because it's so stiff, and so it doesn't cast them as far. But this 7-1 medium heavy rod does, and this is one of the rods that I use for frogs. I use either a 7-1 or a 7-3 13 fishing Defy Black. You guys know the deal. These rods, they're amazing rods, and never had any problems with them. But 7-1 medium heavy, this thing it works, you know. It gets through the heavy stuff that I'm fishing. I'm not fishing like the stuff down in Florida. Like if you're down on Lake Okeechobee, you would want this Flares frogging rod. But my stuff is not as thick as that. It's pretty thick. But a 7-1 medium heavy to 7-3 medium heavy will get you through the stuff, as long as you get a good hook set in them, and you've got probably a 50-pound braided line. It's gonna get you through the stuff. The majority of grime and slime and icky grass and everything, it's gonna get you through it. So that's the rod and reel that I like. I normally stick to a shorter rod when I'm frogging, because I'm not full size. Like, I'm still like in like 10th grade or high school or whatever, and so I haven't grown up fully. Like, I'm not like as tall as I'm gonna be, and so I'm still kind of shorter, and so I like the shorter rod, so my rod tip isn't hitting the water every cast. So that's or every time I twitch the rod. So that's kind of why I like a 7-1 medium heavy. 7-3 is okay, but 7-1 is really good, and this thing still bombs a frog. So the reel I've got on that is a 13 fishing Origin A. These reels are amazing. 8:1-to-1 gear ratio. I love fast gear ratios, because a lot of times, at least for me in my experience, a bass, when it's eating a frog, it'll come up and eat the frog, and then it'll like start running like all the way across the pond and everything, and I need to be able to catch up to those very, very fast fish, because bass can be pretty fast. But that is the reel right there. It's pretty dope. It's got kind of that, I don't know what you call that, like the shininess to it, and then the rod right there. So it's pretty sweet, and that's my ideal combo. Again, 50-pound braid. You can launch these things forever. So now I'm going to get into how I like to work frogs. Alright guys, so I'm now going to get into retrieves and some of my favorite ones, and how I like to work popping frogs and walking frogs, and a lot of them that even the pros use, they're the same, and everybody can do them. But I just want to say that you guys go out and experiment with your own frogs and with your own retrieves, and just see how they work. See if they catch fish. Just kind of experiment with different retrieves, and that's kind of my favorite one. But my probably top one for a walking frog or even a popping frog is just a normal, you cast out your frog and you're just popping it back, and say you give like 3 pops, and then you pause it for a second, and then you just keep popping. Just a normal, toss it out there, pop it back. It's very simple. Everybody does it. Another one for, and that can be the same for walking and popping. Walking will just be a walk the dog action, and you can even cast it out, walk it once, pause, walk it once, pause, walk it, pause. You can do tons of different retrieves, but those are some of my favorite ones. Actually, I only shared one of them with you. Another one with walking frogs is because a lot of my ponds, or a couple of them, have lots of thick grass, and I really only use walking frogs. And so what I'll do is I'll cast it out, and I don't really even walk it. It doesn't even like walk the dog, like go back and forth. I almost just keep like twitching it and reeling it, twitching it and reeling it, and it's been very effective recently. It's like a steady reel, and it's always moving. So that's my favorite one for walking, popping. I don't really use as much anymore, but you know, just a standard popping one where you cast it out, pop it back is great. So I hope you all enjoyed today's video. I try to go into detail on how on my favorite frogs and how I like to work them, and colors, rods and reels, and all the gear that you need for frog fishing. And other than that, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you all on the next episode of LMB Nation. Peace, guys.